everyone, I want to show you a hash brown casserole that I'm making. I will make it today. I will let it sit in the refrigerator overnight, and then I will bake it in the morning. The flavors they just complement one another a lot better if you do that. But you're going to start with the 2-pound bag of the hash browns. Now, don't get the ones that are the slivers. Now, I've seen some recipes for that, but mine are the little cubed potatoes, okay? And so you start with that, and this one is to go, so I'm mixing it up in the pan I'm actually gonna cook it in so that I'm not messing up a bunch of dishes. And so I'm gonna start with 1 cup of sour cream. That's gonna finish up this. That's about 1 cup. Then this is something different. I think that, I don't know that I've ever seen another recipe. I'm sure there's some out there, but this has French onion dip. And that onion dip gives it a wonderful flavor. So we're gonna put half of this, which is gonna be 1 cup of this, okay? And then we're gonna put a can of cream of chicken. Now I just do the plain cream of chicken. I know I've told y'all that I really like it with the herbs, but the French onion dip gives it such a good flavor, and it's really a stronger flavor that since that is more expensive, I just stick with the regular on this. Now, I always salt and pepper. This is just to your taste. That's probably a half a teaspoon of salt. And that's probably a half a teaspoon of pepper and a half a teaspoon of salt. And so I'm gonna stir this up. Now, it calls for a half a stick of butter, and I learned long time ago, because these are partially thawed, but I tried to mix up one years ago and didn't think about the potatoes being still a little bit frozen. And I threw that butter, melted butter in there, and can y'all picture what happened? I had nothing but frozen butter stuck to all of this. It was a mess trying to get it stirred up. I had to let it sit at room temperature a little bit to do that. And so once I get all of this stirred in and there's some other things in there, I'm gonna pour the butter. Okay, and so this is 1 stick of butter that I'm gonna put. And I'm gonna be honest with y'all, that's not a stick, that's a half a stick. I'm sorry, I'm looking back here at what I've got left. I have before forgotten to put the butter in, and I really couldn't taste a difference. And if you're trying to cut back on ingredients or cut back on calories or whatever, that might be a good way that you could do it. And so now I'm gonna add cheese. Y'all are gonna laugh when I show you what I grabbed the first bowl, and it was my colander. So I have grated, I had to hand grate that because my little thing that I turn is in the dishwasher. Okay, and so we're gonna stir this in. You see chunks of little pieces of chicken in there from that cream of chicken soup. And it looks a little bit thick now, but you know, when it cooks and all of that will kind of liquefy. And of course, these potatoes are still somewhat frozen. Okay, and so this is what it looks like mixed up. And again, I'm gonna put it in the refrigerator overnight. Now, I probably will taste of it to see if it needs any more salt or pepper before I bake it. And then a lot of people put the cornflake topping. My sister does, and it's wonderful and it's so crunchy. But back in the years, I didn't have real success with that. My cornflakes would be soggy, I guess probably too much butter. So I've become accustomed to after I bake it, I'll take it out of the oven. I'm gonna put another cup of shredded cheddar on top and just put the lid on it, and the heat from it will melt the cheese. But y'all, this is so good for, again, a brunch, for breakfast. A meal. It's a good casserole, and like the French onion dip gives it a wonderful flavor. But I will come back and let you see what it looks like after I have baked it. I've come back to show you the hash brown casserole. Now this is after it is cooked, 350 for 50 minutes. And now I'm gonna put cheese on top. Like I said, a lot of the recipes will call for the cornflake and butter. I just always go with cheese, and I just generously put my cheese over it, and then I'm just gonna put the lid on it and cover it, and the heat inside there we'll melt that cheese, and this will be so good. This is such a good side dish for anything, really. And it's like I told you, it's different because it's got the French onion dip in it that just gives it a little bit of a tang and just a different taste. But that's the way it looks, and that cheese is gonna melt, and those are gonna be some really good cheesy, creamy potatoes. I hope that you'll keep faith in your heart, peace in your home, and good food on your table. I love you, and God bless.